Namaskar students, let's continue. Kaska, you pulled me by the clock. Would you speak with me? Kaska speaks to Cassius. You have pulled me by the clock, by my cloth, by my sleeves. Would you speak with me? Would you like to talk with me? Brutus. Yes, Kaska, tell us what has changed today. The Caesar looks so sad. What happened today, Kaska? Caesar is very upset. Caesar looks very sad. What happened, Kaska, today? Kaska, why? You were with him, were you not? Weren't you with him? Were you not with him? Brutus, I should not then ask Kaska what had chance. Then I need not to ask Kaska. If I were with him, if I were with the procession, then I need not to ask Kaska what had chance today. What has chanced today? Kaska, why? There was a crown offered him. And being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand. Thus then the people fell a shouting. A crown was offered to Caesar. Yes, a crown was offered to Caesar. And being offered him, when it was offered to him, he put it by the back of his hand. By the back of his hand. And then the people fell a shouting. Then the people shouted. Brutus, what was the second noise for? Why did they shout again? Why for that too? Yes, for the same cause. They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for? Why did they shout the third time? What was the third cry for? Last cry for? Kaska, why for that too? For the same reason. Brutus, was the crown offered to him thrice? Did they offer him the crown thrice, 3 times? Kaska, yes. Mary wasn't, yes. Was it? It was offered to him thrice. And he put it by thrice. Thrice he refused it. He refused it thrice. Every time gentler than the other. Gentler and gentler he refused it. And first time he strongly refused it. Second time, not as strong as the first, he refused it. Not as stubborn as the first one, still he refused it. And third time, very gentler, he refused it. It means that Caesar actually wanted the crown. So, Kaska says that Caesar actually wanted the crown. Still, he had to refuse it. He put it by thrice, every time gentler and gentler than the other. And at every putting by, my honest neighbor shouted. And when every time he refused it, the people who were standing around me, they all shouted. The people who were standing around me, my honest neighbors. So every time when he put it by, my honest neighbors shouted. Who offered him the crown? Cassius asked. Who offered him the crown? Kaska. Why Antony? Antony offered him the crown. Brutus, tell us the manner of it, gentle Kaska. Kaska, please tell us how it was offered. Kaska. Aeneas will be hanged as the manner of it. It was mere foolery. Better to be hanged, such a shameful way it was offered. Better that I hang myself, I commit suicide myself. than telling the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I did not notice it much. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown. It was not a crown neither, it was one of these coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. It was not a crown. It was only this coronet, a small crown with sedges. It was not a big crown. It was a coronet. And as I told you, he put it by once. First time, he put it by once. He declined it. He did not want to receive it. He refused it. But to my thinking, he would fain have had it. But to my thinking, according to me, he could have gladly possessed it. He could have gladly owned it. When? Then he offered him again. Again it was offered to him. Then he put it by again. Again he refused. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. Caesar was not willing to take his fingers off it because it means that Caesar wanted it. Still he refused. He was very hesitant to take his fingers off the crown. It means he wanted the crown. Then he put it by again, but to my thinking he was very loath, hesitant, reluctant to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still he refused it. Rabbleman shouted. Again it was offered to him. The third time it was offered to him. But the third time too he refused it. And the rabblement, the mob, the crowd, they all shouted and clapped their chopped hands, rough hands, and they all clapped their hands. This labor community, they all clapped their hands. Rabblemen shouted and clapped their chopped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps. Sweaty nightcaps they still wear even daytime too. And the smell of sweat comes from that. Such a foul smell of sweat comes from it. And they threw up their nightcaps. Sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinging breath because Caesar refused the crown. Their stinging breath refused. Emitting such a stinging breath from foul smell was coming from their mouth. When they shouted, the foul smell spread all around. And they were happy. They were shouting since Caesar refused the crown. Now it had almost choked Caesar. Caesar got suffocated. Caesar could not breathe properly because of this foul smell. For his wound, he fainted. He fell unconscious. Caesar fell unconscious. And he fell down at it. And he fell down. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh. I did not dare to laugh. I did not dare to laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air. Why? Because everywhere there was foul smell. I did not want to open my mouth and receive the foul smell. Such a stinging breath. Such a foul smell. Stinging smell. So I did not open my mouth and receive and thus escape from, did not receive the foul smell. Thank you.